Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live at noon.
We have new information on the case of the young woman who was murdered, cut up, and then had her body thrown into a dumpster. A judge now says the suspect in the case is competent to stand trial. 27-year-old Ethan Broad is charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder for the killing of Destiny Avery. Documents say Broad admitted to killing her and throwing her body in the trash. Previously, Broad was a ward of the state for 8 years and classified as incapacitated, but an assessment showed he can stand trial. Broad will be back in court on July 24th. We have more on this story on the VNL News app. New for you at noon, Fort Knox Bar of Gold in downtown Fargo has announced a temporary closure due to suspected contact with COVID-19. In a Facebook post, Fort Knox management says they, quote, have chosen to temporarily close our doors. This is for the safety of not only our staff and families, but for the customers as well, end quote. The post goes on to say any updates of reopening will be announced on their social media pages. People in Grand Forks woke up to some flooded streets after over 6 inches of rain fell overnight into the morning. Some flooded streets included 24th Avenue South and the roads around Columbia Mall. Mall crews even closed down some roads around the shopping center for safety. Most of the water cleared the streets by mid-morning. Now let's check in with meteorologist Justin Fanfarelli.
Thank you, Alexandra. And good afternoon, everybody. Yes, the good news is that the rain that we had overnight is making its way out, and also the clouds are too. Still some clouds, still some showers as you make your way just off to the south of Bemidji. Some high clouds from the Red River into our Minnesota counties, but complete sunshine as you make your way out toward Devil's Lake and Jamestown. The decrease in cloud trend will continue as we go through the afternoon. Most of us are going to have a good amount of sunshine. Temperatures ranging from the lower 70s into Lakes Country, all the way into the upper 70s out toward Jamestown. Still a little muggy out there. Dew points in some areas, especially up and down the Red River Valley and into portions of north central Minnesota. Still into the mid to upper 60s, but we are going to see a lot of sunshine, and temperatures are really not going to be that bad for this time of year. We're going to say seasonably warm. Winds across the region still from a southwesterly direction around 5 to 15 miles per hour. That'll warm us up. So will the sunshine. High of 85 in the Fargo area. We'll go over who got the most rain and where the flood warnings are. That's coming up in full weather a little later on in the newscast.
Thank you very much, Justin. And a heads up for people in the metro this evening, Cass County Vector Control will be spraying for mosquitoes from the air. The aerial spraying is scheduled to start at 8 for Fargo, West Fargo, and Moorhead. This comes at a good time because mosquitoes breed in standing water. New at noon, Bismarck police are investigating a shooting that sent one person to the hospital this morning. Around 3 this morning, police were called to the hospital because someone showed up with a gun. The person is expected to be okay. No other information about the shooting is available, and police are asking for leads. The drug industry is suing to overturn a Minnesota law that took today that requires them to provide emergency and longer-term insulin supplies to diabetics who can't afford them. The Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturers of America, also known as PhRMA, filed a lawsuit in federal court just hours before the law took effect, asking the court to declare the law unconstitutional. An unconstitutional issue because it's a permanent injunction against enforcement. The trade group said in a statement that Alex Smith Insulin Affordability Act violates the takings clause of the Constitution because it forces insulin makers to give their product to Minnesotans for free without any compensation from the state in return. The group blames health plans and pharmacy benefit managers for the high cost of insulin. The law is named for Alex Smith, an uninsured 26-year-old Minneapolis man who died in 2017 of complications from rationing his insulin. We have new information on COVID-19 within the region. In Minnesota, health officials have confirmed 426 new cases of COVID-19 in the state, along with 4 new deaths. That brings the total number of active cases in the state to 3,324, while the death toll still sits at 1,445. Nearly 32,000 patients are listed as recovered. In North Dakota, the state is confirming 39 new cases and another death linked to the illness. The latest victim was a man in his 90s from Stark County with underlying health conditions. There are now 325 active cases of COVID-19 in North Dakota, while 3,210 patients are listed as recovered. More than 127,000 Americans have died from the coronavirus. More states are seeing surges in new cases, forcing them to shut down parts of their economies. In Washington yesterday, Dr. Anthony Fauci told lawmakers the country does not have a handle on the virus. CBS's Laura Podesta has the latest.
The U.S. reported more than 40,000 new coronavirus cases yesterday.
Clearly, we are not in total control right now.
Dr. Anthony Fauci warns it could get much worse.
I would not be surprised if we go up to 100,000 a day.
Members of the White House task force told Congress everyone should follow basic safety measures.
Embrace the universal use of face coverings.
The Senate Health Committee's top Republican wants President Trump to lead by example.
The stakes are too high for this political debate about pro-Trump, anti-Trump masks.
More than a dozen states have paused or rolled back their economic reopenings.
We've had an outbreak.
Delaware is closing its beach bars and holding off on moving to phase 3. In Texas, protesters came out against the state's decision to close bars. Texas has about twice as many people in hospitals than it did 10 days ago.
We've seen these clusters associated with birthday parties, family gatherings, those sorts of things.
In Arizona, the owner of Mountainside Fitness is suing the governor for closing gyms and other businesses.
We don't feel this decision was fair. We think it was extremely arbitrary.
Health officials say young people are driving up the infection numbers.
If you want a chance at prom next spring, wear a face covering.
Surgeon General Jerome Adams says while the country is in a better place to treat COVID-19 than it was just a few weeks ago, that does not mean mission accomplished. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Adams says the reason he feels the country is in a much better place now is thanks to a better supply of PPE and treatments with promise, like steroids, remdesivir, and convalescent plasma. Our consumer alert this afternoon, private payrolls grew by nearly 2.4 million jobs in June. Payroll company ADP says small businesses reported the biggest increase, adding 937,000 jobs last month. Construction firms, restaurants, and hotels also posted large gains in hiring. Numbers from May saw a huge revision. The initial loss of 2.76 million jobs was revised to gain more than 3 million jobs. Still, even with those large gains, that leaves the total unemployment far below pre-pandemic levels. Coming up at noon, do you ever wonder how effective a face mask really is? One research group thought the same thing, and we share those results a little later on. But next, weather to plan your day.